yet modern design in places like this. And here at Nomos, they really, really nail it. Make sure it's a mechanical watch, because in this day and age, where everything is digital, a mechanical timepiece is a beautiful anachronistic statement. Just listen. It's like a heartbeat. It lives.
The design philosophy of Nomos is based on the ideas of the German Bauhaus. Our aim, our goal is to transform this design idea now to the 21st century.
All of these, for example, are good options for the gentleman in the 21st century. Just look at those clean lines. Delicate detail. The adequate watch for the modern gentleman should be a demure affair. Don't let it scream. It can't be vulgar. So what time is it? Well, it's time you treat yourself to a decent watch. You want to know a 100% foolproof way to ruin any outfit? Scruffy shoes. It's the holiday season. Why not treat yourself to a pair of really nice shoes? There's even scientific studies that prove you can accurately judge a man's personality just by looking at his shoes. I know you think that really good shoes are prohibitively expensive. And even cheap shoes can last you for a year or two, can't they? But high quality shoes will last you for 10, even for 20 years. Okay, they're pricier to begin with because they're handmade and not by children in some sweatshop factory, but by real craftspeople who get paid a decent wage. Let me show you something. I bought these here 15 years ago. My first decent pair. Had them resold 3 times. Over the years, I spent 600 euros on them. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just 3 euros a month. So for just 10 euros per month, you can own 3 decent pairs of shoes. And here are the 3 essentials you want. First, black cap-toe Oxfords. Classic of classics, absolutely timeless for nearly every occasion. Number 2, Derby brogues. Why not in brown? They're a bit more on the sporty side anyway. By the way, do you know the difference between an Oxford and a Derby? The Derby has the facing stitched on top of the shoe. With an Oxford, it's sewn underneath. Number 3, if you're too lazy to lace up, monk straps, also very elegant. Then there's Chelsea boots for the winter. And loafers for the summer. I hate loafers. The question is, how do I recognize a good quality shoe? Let's ask a pro, shall we?
You can just feel it, can't you? One thing might be balance. Nothing is wobbling around. You can trust this shoe. Another thing, the details, like brass eyelets or a gentleman's corner at the heel. And the third thing for a business shoe is the leather sole. The hand stitching, you can feel it.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen, Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
Hello and welcome to the Situation Room on Channel 1 Television, where we do a lot of analysis, crash the numbers for you as we move into election 2024. Now, it is now a matter of few weeks, if not days, before we go into the elections. Less than a month, actually, as we go into the elections of 2024. And over the past few weeks, we've been helping you make sense of the numbers based on the historical antecedents, the vote patterns of people. And we've also been paying particular attention to swing regions for you. And we've told you what the swing regions are and how they've behaved and how their behavior determines who wins or who loses an election. Today, our focus is on the middle belt of Ghana. There's one region that spreads from the west to the east, and it's in the middle. If you look at the map of Ghana, it used to be one block of a region. It's been subdivided into three. We'll emphasize more on that particular region when we come back. My name is Umaru Sandamadu, and I'm always here as usual with Bernard Kokuavle for the analysis. Please stay with us.
Get front row seats to an exciting Premier League game. The girls are next door, catching up on a scenic getaway to the Australian outback. Watching together is always better. That's why DSTV Stream has content for the whole family to enjoy. Families that watch together, bond together.
The Situation Room today is going to a region which used to be called Brong Ahafo. I don't know why they call it Brong when the people are Bono people. Perhaps it's been Brofolized. Bernard, I don't know. Is it that they are Brong people or is Bono people?
It's Bono. You know, the British just messed us up. Chebi is Kibi. Asante is Ashanti. Bono is Bronx.
But why would you change Bono, B-O-N-O? It's easy to pronounce. How do you say Bronx?
So don't be colonized. Learn your own language, write it yourself.
So
you
today
can mention it the way you have to mention it.
Today we are going to but for a long time it was Bronx Ahafo region. So it means we copied it and also put it in the name of our...
But now we call it Bono Ahafo.
Now we have changed it. We've changed it.
Yeah.
So why are we focusing on Bronx Ahafo again?
Because we started with regions that don't stick to one party. And those regions are the Greater Accra region, the Central region, the Western region, and the Bono East region. We've dealt with Greater Accra, we've dealt with Central, we've dealt with Western. So today and tomorrow, we're going to look at this fourth region that doesn't stick to one political party.
Interesting. So, but for purpose of education, it used to be called Bronx Ahafo, but as of 2018, it changed to 3 different regions.
Yes.
So it's been broken down into
3. So there's Ahafo region, which has 6 constituencies. There's Bono region, which has 12 constituencies, and there's Bono East, which has 11 constituencies.
If you're driving from Accra to Tamale, you go through the old Bronx Ahafo region.
Yeah.
Now, when they did the division, which one is on your right, which one is on your left, which one is on... Because
so Techiman,
it's
a beautiful question. So Techiman is the main Kumasi Tamale road. Techiman is on the extreme left of the Bono East region, but it happens to be the capital. But Techiman is centrally the middle of that stretch of land. All right. Now, Bono starts all the way from your left, Banda, Tain, on the west, and ends up at Sunyai.
So Bono is from Côte d'Ivoire. Is that correct? Which one borders Côte d'Ivoire?
So yes, you're right. So the 3 Doma constituencies are close to Côte d'Ivoire, and when you go up, there's also Banda, and then next to that you have Tain, and then you come to Wenchi, and then Sunyai and Brekum. All of them are in Bono. Ahafo is from the Volta Lake, and then it transitions Savannah region, parts of the Northern region, parts of Ashanti, and then of course a lot of the middle part. So basically,
so Ahafo is to the right, to the east.
As Ahafo is to the east, that's why they call it. No, sorry, not Ahafo. Bono East. Forgive me, Bono East.
So Bono west to the left, Bono to the left, then Bono east to the right.
If you are driving, you are right. But if you're using the cardinal points, Bono is essentially on the western part of that land expanse. Bono East is the eastern and central parts. Ahafo is more between Ashanti and Bono. So Ahafo is not necessarily in that line. It's sort of hidden between Ashanti, and it's a very small region, just 6 constituencies.
So is Ahafo closer to Western North?
It borders Western North partially as well. So Ahafo has 4 borders. The larger part of Ahafo is bordered to the north by Bono. Then it's bordered to the east by the Ashanti region. It's bordered to the south by Western North. And then there's a little tiny bit of it that...
Côte d'Ivoire.
No, there's a little tiny bit of it that borders Bono East.
Bono East.
So, but Ahafo technically is Ashanti-Bono transition.
And then the Bono itself, which has capital as Sunyani, then borders Savannah region.
So Bono has... Very good question. So Bono has 2 neighbors. Bono's neighbor to the north is Savannah. Bono's neighbor to the east is Bono East. Bono's neighbor to the south is Ahafo, and also Western North.
Western North, okay.
So let me go through this again. Ahafo is the largest in land. Sorry, Bono East is the largest in terms of land mass.
Whose capital is Sunyani?
No.
Bono East.
Bono East's capital is Techiman. It's the largest expanse of land. Okay. It's bordered to the north by Savannah and Volta. To the west by Bono and a little bit of Ahafo, and to the south by Ashanti, and partly eastern as well, but it's the Volta Lake that divides the Afram Plains of the eastern from the Afram Plains of the Bono East.
And then Bono is Sunyani, and then Ahafo is
so Ahafo is Goso.
Goso. Okay.
So the easy way to look at this is that in your swing regions, right, Greater Accra has been maintained. Mm-hmm. Central region has been maintained. Western region has been split between Western North and Western. Western itself is still pretty big. Western North behaves pretty different from Western. But this Bono Ahafo region, when it was split into 3, it gave us a very neat division as to the 3 voting blocks. So you can say that this region, the Bono region, typically tends to vote for one party. the Bono East region tends to vote for another party. Then the Ahafo region votes for one party, but less so than Bono. So it's a 60-40 kind of split.
So it's when you mix the three of them that
it makes it a swing.
And the same applies to Western and Western North, because if you put Western North on its own, it's green a number of times.
Wonderful.
But if you mix it together, then it
starts
okay.
100%.
Which means that we can actually go into the numbers behind the picture and say that Western North is not a swing region, but Western region is a swing region.
100%.
Then we can go to the Brong Ahafo regions and choose which of them is really, strictly speaking, the swing region.
Very good point.
So which one is the swing region in Bono and Ahafo?
I think the closest to what swings will be Ahafo. Because Bono consistently votes for MPP. Bono East consistently votes for NDC. Ahafo votes for MPP, but less so than Bono. So NDC does get something in Ahafo, but it's not enough to ever make it fully green.
I see.
And they do 1 or 2 parliamentary seats out of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put the 3 together, then the picture becomes a mixed bag.
Good. So which one do you want to start with?
Well, I wanted to actually show you the region as it behaved in olden times. And I don't know if my...
You want to come here?
My map is ready, so maybe let me start from here, because
so we're working with 2 maps. If you understand, and forgive Bernard and I crisscrossing each other.
Yeah. So let me show you 10 regions. When Ghana was 10 regions before 2018, this large expanse of land is the Bono Ahafo region, bordered to the left by Cote d'Ivoire, to the north by the Old Northern region, to the east by Volta and the Volta Lake, to the south by Eastern and Ashanti, and even to the south as well by Western. So huge region. Okay. Now, how did this region vote presidentially in the 3 election cycles? Together in 2012, it was an NDC victory, but not a deep one, so light green, right? So when the party wins between 50 and 60%, the heat map gives it the green, but it's not deep.
It's light.
Same for MPP. So in this situation of 2012, there are 3 regions that give NDC a big victory: Volta, Upper East, and Upper West. Then there's 1 region that gives MPP a big victory, it's Ashanti. Eastern gives MPP a reasonable victory. The rest of the regions, Greater Accra, Central, the Old Western, the Old Northern, and then the Old BA, all give NDC a slight victory. I'm using the 10 region theory. Now in 2016, it switched to MPP. It was a light blue. So MPP won it between 50 and 60%. The story continues. Now in 2020, MPP held it. So that's the first major point to make here. Now, if you now come to the 16 region breakdown, that's where it gets interesting. So go back to 2012. In 2012, when you split it, Bono East is NDC. Both Bono and Ahafo are MPP, but both are light versions. So NDC edges it in Bono East, MPP edges it in Ahafo, and Bono. It's not a dominant. So you notice that when you put the 3 together, which is why it switches. All right. Interesting point. In 2016, when you then look at it, 2016 is the real color. Bono, heavy MPP, they go above 60%. Ahafo, light MPP, between 50 and 60%. Bono East still gives NDC between 50 and 60.
So the 2 blues managed to make the whole map blue.
Yes.
Because in 2012, even though there were 2 blues, the green dominated more, or the population in the green was higher.
Yes, please.
And that is why we have what we have. Now, the interesting thing is that in this particular year, in 2016, NPP managed to deepen Bono so deep so that the consequence of that is that the color affects the whole of the region, and so it becomes a blue region in its entirety.
100%.
Okay.
Then in 2020, pay careful attention to the changes. Bono East remains light green, Ahafo remains light blue, but Bono changes from deep blue back to light blue. So even though when you put it all together, MPP wins, the dominance in Bono in 2016 is not repeated in 2020. And you will see this when we go to the parliamentary situation. So clearly there are 3 zones.
Take it again, Bernard. Take it from 2012 for the so show us which area of the Ghana map we should focus on?
So in 2012,
you just use your finger to show us where we are supposed to focus on.
So now I'm here.
Good.
This is Bono region.
That's a stretch
when we have the 10 regions. Now when I come to 16 regions, when I break it down 16 regions, I have this green patch in the middle of the country, this blue patch on the left of the country, and then this blue patch. So these three make up the region. Bono Old. In 2012, there are 2 blues and 1 green. But when you put it together, NDC wins. In 2016, there's 1 deep blue, 1 light blue, and 1 light green, telling you that Bono region goes heavy MPP. Ahafo is still the same way in 2012. Bono East is still the same. The overall consequence is that the region collectively is MPP. In 2020, NDC reduces MPP's dominant blue to light blue. They maintain Ahafo, and NDC maintains Bono East. Together, it's still for MPP. So this is the first major thing to note in this region. Okay. The second point to note is that by way of constituencies, BA has 29 constituencies put together. Greater Accra has 34. Eastern has 33. Ashanti has 47. So 29 is pretty good. Bono has 12. Bono East has 11. So they are equally matched. And Ahafo has 6. So my theory is that the real battle for the region, Ahafo, becomes the tipping point. And this is particularly true in parliamentary elections. Because usually NDC would win probably 10 out of the 11 in Bono East. MPP may win 10 or 11 out of the 12. Generally, then in the Ahafo situation, MPP may win 4, NDC will win 2. This has been the picture.
So Ahafo decides.
So Ahafo becomes, and you notice this week, or the past 2 weeks, Napo has gone to Ahafo.
Yeah.
NDC went to Ahafo. I heard, I don't know which person went there, but they were referring to John Mohammed's wife as coming from in Kranza. So they were in the Bono region. General Mosquito has gone back there. So there's a lot of activity there, because I suspect that the parties know that this region could edge it.
Is that where Tyne is?
Oh yes. Okay. So now, what I want to do for you is to help you appreciate it's a very easy region to memorize if you are one who wants to write an exam. So let's start with the easiest, Ahafo. And 6 constituencies. It's basically 3 areas divided into north, south, north, south, north, south. Right. So if you go to Ahafo, so let me go back to 2012. If you go to Ahafo, there are 2 Esutifis, 2 Esunafos, and 2 Tanos. Tano North and South, Esutifi North and South, Esunafo North and South. That's how to understand the region. And this continues through. If you go to Bono East, Nkranza North and South, Techima North and South, Pro East and West, it's so a very
traditional.
So they are either rivers or traditional areas. So basically that's how they is. So it's not a very complicated region if you're a geography student to understand. So if you take Ahafo, you have Esunafo North and South, which are at the southwestern part of the region. Then the Tano North and South is in the northeastern part of the region, and the Esutifi is in the middle. You notice that generally MPP wins Tano. So let's go to, these are the 2 Tanos. This is Tano North and South. What's the color?
Blue.
2012. Just keep your eye on the 2 Tanos. So let me just click on Tano South and Tano North. These 2. 2012, who wins?
They're blue.
2016.
One became deeper.
Tano North is deep, Tano South is light, but it's still blue. 2020, what do you have?
Same.
So, Tano, typically MPP. Those of you who are football fans, Bofakwa is from Tano.
Tano Bofakwa.
Some of the key names there, Frida Prempe, the MDC's women organizer.
Hannah Bisio.
The vice president's spokesperson.
Dr. Gideon Boako.
These are the names you hear in Tano when you go to those places. So, generally, Tano trends to MPP. Let's look at some closer numbers. So I'm going back to 2012. When I put Tano North and South together, even though 2012 is an NDC victory in the country, Tano North and South, Akufo-Addo gets 53%, Mahama gets 45% in 2012. If I give it 2016, Akufo-Addo gets close to 60% in the 2. Mahama gets 39%, 60-40 split.
For the 2 concepts.
The 2 Tanos. Then I do 2020 essentially is the same thing.
Same thing. Actually, more. Akufo-Addo got more than he got in 2016.
Statistically, it's the same, 59.7.
Yeah, I mean, just that.
Yeah, but no, you use percentages. Yeah. So look at 2016, 59.06, 39.76. 2020, 59.79.
Yeah.
So an inch up, but statistically the same. So we will say Akufo-Addo held Tano, right? But you notice that Tano North is deeper than Tano South. Now, the second way to understand Ahafo is that the southern parts tend to favor NDC than the northern parts. So let's use Esutify to prove this. All right, and let's go back to 2012.
And there are two Esutifis.
As I said, you just need to remember Esutify, Esunafo, and Tano.
And then Tano.
You have the region. Esutify, Esu, I'm sure it's water.
It's the head of the water.
You are a good student. What did we see in 2012? Esutify North, MPP. Esutify South, NDC. And both are light in complexion. When you put the two together, NDC edges it slightly, 50.6%, 48.5%. One of the reasons why Collins Dauda is valued in NDC is that of the 6 Ahafo constituencies, he's been the one who's been able to. I think his organizational work has helped NDC make inroads in Ahafo. The second name there now is Eric Opoku. As I keep saying, politics in the country, you need individuals who have been there for long, started as DC, they are known, or they work in a field that is relevant to the people, and they are seen as godfathers. So, Esunafo, the person will be Eric Opoku, Esutify is Collins Dauda. So now, you notice that when you put the two together, NDC slightly edges it. But let's go through the 3 election cycles. 2016,
same thing.
Same thing. Akufo-Addo wins
over Mahama.
He wins the north, Mahama wins the south. But you know that when you put the two numbers together, Akufo-Addo now takes it.
Yeah.
Of course, in the case of 2012, both it was the same split, but
Mahama had done better.
Yes. Now let's come to 2020. It hasn't changed. Akufo-Addo maintains Esutify North, Mahama takes Esutify South. Together, Akufo-Addo edges it slightly. So you notice when I say it's a swing region, and I say Ahafo is the sort of the tipping. If that logic is to continue, Esutify is the middle of that. Do you follow my logic? Bono East, NDC. Bono, MPP. Ahafo, slightly MPP. In Ahafo, the Esutify is where the battle is, because Tano is MPP. This is where the battle is. Now let's try Esunafo and see what we find. So for Esunafo North and South as well, I'm going back to 2012. Again, you see what's going on. Esunafo North, MPP. Esunafo South, NDC for 2012. When you put the two together, 50% Akufo-Addo, 49% Mahama. So in 2012, Esutify, Mahama edges it. But in 2012, Esunafo, Akufo-Addo edges it. But only just. Giving you a sense of the region. Now, we're looking at 2016 now. What happens? Esunafo North goes deep blue. And Esunafo South, which NDC won, now goes to MPP. So in 2016, MPP takes the two Esunafos. But one much deeper. So it's a bit like the Tano North. As I said to you, NPP does well in the northern parts of Ahafo.
Of the region.
Than they do in the southern parts generally. Because that's where it borders Bono. Then you come to 2020. What do you see?
Deeper.
MPP takes both. So what they've done is that they've strengthened their presidential position in Esunafo.
Bernard, from what you are showing us, it appears Collins Dauda's place is the only deep NDC.
Yes.
Why then don't we just say, let's call Ahafo for MPP then? Because look at the map.
That's what I said.
It looks too blue, even though it looks like that's a deciding.
But if you take it from 2012, it's 4-2. If you go to 2016, it's 5-1.
Yeah. And
if
it
you come
remains
to
that
2020, it's 5-1.
I would call this region for
MPP.
Yes.
Yes.
But what I notice is that when you look at the generality of the map, it's not always blue. I don't get it. Does it mean Esutify South has so much
No,
or it means MPP's win
take,
is not that
when you take
commanding.
the map. No, when you take the map together, it's always like
it's always in blue.
Yes. So let's look at when you take the map together from 2012, it's light blue. 2016, it's light blue. 2020, it's light blue.
Then this would be the fair decision for me on these three regions. Bono and Ahafo are MPP. Bono East is NDC. I don't want to say Ahafo is a swing region.
The reason I will hesitate is that the parliamentary picture also tends to follow the 4-2 split. So for me, for a region to be called for, look, OT region or Western North, NDC wins.
Yeah.
No issue there. Okay. MPP hardly gets anything there. All right.
So that's what you would call an NDC region.
Yes, and same for MPP. You take Ashanti region, you take Eastern region, and these are smaller regions I'm referring to now. The reason I don't want to say Ahafo is for MPP is that in the 2012 scenario, you notice that it was a very okay. Look at this, 2012 Ahafo. Oh, what have I done? Forgive me. I was going to Ahafo. I don't know.
You went to Ashanti. I think you want to eat fufu this afternoon.
Yes. No, forgive me. What I'm trying to say to you is that Ahafo is MPP, but less so than Bono.
Yes, but
less so.
Yeah, but Bernard, you are the statistician. From what you have shown me, from 4-2 to 5-1. No, from 4-2
to 5-1 to 5-1.
Yeah, to 5-1.
Yeah.
I mean, that is. Yeah.
If you go to 2008, 2004, previous elections, and I get your point.
Is this a collective raw data from the 6 regions? Is that 6 constituencies?
Yes.
Take it from 2012. Let's look at raw numbers.
That's what I'm doing. 2012, Akufo-Addo has 115,000. Mama has 109,000.
So
about 50.7%.
So 6,000. I'm talking about raw figures. So 6,000 vote different.
Yeah, but
in the whole region.
It's more useful to look at percentages if you want to determine dominance. If a candidate gets 50.7% of a region,
it's big,
and his opponent gets 48.3, statistically it's a tie.
Bernard.
So I'm coming. So you can use 4 versus 2, but I think that if you want to actually designate a region to be for somebody, you can't be getting 50% in a region and say the region is for you.
No problem. I'm saying that.
Do you get my point?
So I'm coming. So we're working with 6,000 here, right?
You want to use numbers. I want to use percentages.
I know.
Because percentages are more useful.
We use percentages
for designating strength than numbers. Because you see, the reason numbers are not, you see,
they are not stable.
Percentages can help you make comparison across years.
Yes.
Numbers, because voter numbers change, turnout changes, but percentages are consistent in telling you strength. Okay. So I am saying that if somebody gets 50% in a region and somebody gets 48%, in the year that he wins it massively, he goes to 55%. Then in 2020, our most recent, is still 55. So he has an advantage there. But Sandra, you've seen constituencies where somebody's flipped a 44, 55. In another, I'll give you an example. You went to Medina.
Yes.
When Boniface won Medina against Amadou Sogo, he was in the regions of 55. The next election that Sosu came, Sosu flipped that region, that constituency. So I'm saying that if you have anything around 55, you can't call it dominant for you.
Bernard, you see, the reason I wanted to look at raw numbers is I want to look at the win margin. It keeps increasing, and the increases are like it's a leap jump. 2012, go to 2012.
Okay,
the win was.
I think we can't. It's okay.
The win margin was 6,000.
I see. You want to use win margin,
yes.
And I'm saying to you that a win margin is not a useful indicator of a party's strength. It's the percentage you should use.
No problem.
Which is why MPP will say to you that Ashanti, they want to win 80%.
80%.
The percent is more useful than the margin.
Very well. I concede to you. I didn't go to University of Ghana economics department.
No.
I have no interview.
Okay, so I've given Ahafo to MPP. You're happy. Let's move on.
Let me take a break.
And this is all history, by the way.
Yes.
We don't know where it's going in 2024. We'll look at that in another segment.
Okay, so this is a situation room. don't be confused. We're just trying to look at Brong and Ahafo region as it used to be, divided into Bono East, and Ahafo. And Bernard is just talking to us about how they've performed since 2012, who has been getting what. And we even went deeper into the constituencies to see which constituency generally goes MPP, which one goes MPP. Based on that, we can then put all the constituencies together and then the 3 regions together and decide whether it's a swing region. So currently it's a swing region, but we are trying to divide it into smaller pieces and see where the swings come from. That's what we are doing. When we come back, we've lifted Ahafo apart and dealt with the regions, the constituencies. So the Esutifi, the Sunafo, and the third one is Tano. So there's 3 different traditional areas or blocks. When we come back, we'll lift out Bono East and then Bono as well, and then we see how they've also behaved in the past. Please stay with us.
Step into a world where words take on life, where verse becomes spirit. Join us on Saturday, 16th November 2024 at the National Theatre of Ghana for the Matrix Verse Experience, Roots and Blossoms. An evening of poetic immersion led by the poetess Apioko and Kwampa, celebrating heritage, examining Ghana's social issues, interrogating trauma, and discovering hope. Through verse and the spirit of art, poetry, music, painting, photography, food art, plant art, and performance, we will connect with our roots and let new possibilities blossom. Dress for poetic ancestry and join us in honoring the power of heritage and beauty of human resilience. For ticket reservations and enquiries, call 027-143-0082. The Matrix Verse Experience 2024 is powered by the Breathing Art Studio and Lioness Communications in partnership with UNESCO and the National Theatre of Ghana. Media partners, Channel 1 TV and 97.3 CDFM. Partners, Ahafo, Beyond the Return, the Ghana Garden and Flower Movement, Colorcast, Oxfam, the Aguma Tea Company, and Purple Leaf Soap House.
Yeah, welcome back. This is the Situation Room on Channel 1 Television. We are talking to you about the only thing that MPP and NDC both agreed to, which was to split our country further into 6 extra regions. Both NDC and MPP campaigned for us to have 6 additional regions. And in 2018, when those regions came online, we started breaking them out into pieces to see how they behave electorally. So we've been talking about Brong Ahafo, which is one of the beneficiaries of this split, or the victims. I don't know where you stand. And so we've been piecing them out. We've chosen Ahafo region, which is the one closer to the south, out, and we've dealt with it as a region. We are now going into Bono, and then we'll talk about Bono East. Bernard Avle is on the maps for us. Bernard.
I actually think I should show you Bono East next.
You want to start with Bono East?
You know why? The pattern we used for understanding Ahafo, 3 areas, Esutifi, Esunafo, and what do you call it, Tano. It follows for Bono East as well.
Okay.
Now, if you take Bono East, you need to remember Techiman, Nkranza, Kintampo, Pru, Sene, and then the only constituency with no partner is Atebubu. You see what I've done there? So let's go to Techiman. There are 2 Techimans.
South and north.
Then there's Nkranza.
North and south.
Then there's Kintampo.
South and north.
Then there's Sene.
Sene east and west.
Then there's Pru, east and west.
East and west.
So the only loner is Atebubu.
But another thing, so they are east and west and north and south.
Beautiful. So the point is that you remember 3 names for Ahafo. Bono East as well. Remember 6 names.
Town names, yeah.
So we have Techiman South and North, Nkranza South and North, Kintampo South and North, Pro East and West, Sene East and West, Atebubu. Finish. So it's there's a logic to what the people did. There's a logic to it. Now, Sene and Pro tend to be deep green because I have a theory that a region's behavior mirrors the adjacent region. Sene and Pro are close to the Volta Lake.
Yeah.
You know that the Volta Lake is populated by people, traditionally Tongue people.
Yeah.
So we call them settler communities, people who have left their original place of birth to live at a place of work.
Yeah.
So Sene and Pro have a lot of that. Now you also have Nkranza and Kintampo having adjacency to Savannah and North.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of migration from that side. And then Techiman is the center. So Techiman is almost the hotbed
cosmopolitan.
Yes. Now remember when the region was being created, Nkranza wanted the capital because they said they were central. But Techiman is the name we all know. On your way to Tamale, you pass to Techiman. So Techiman, now in 2012, what do you see here?
Very green, few light greens.
So everybody is green in 2016. Everybody is green. Sorry, in 2012.
2012.
NDC 59.7, MPP 38.
But the ones closer to Ahafo are lighter in their green.
You are seeing
the ones closer to the Volta and also to the Savannah are deeper green.
So you are seeing the pattern. And because this is a heat map, it's very clear. Sene, Pro, and Nkranza. No, Sene, Pro, and Kintampo North.
And Atebubu.
Give NDC more than 60. The rest give NDC between 50 and 60. But together, it's a 59 to 39%. 20% gap. So this is a dominant NDC for 2012.
So this is what you would call an NDC place, 20%.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Okay.
Now then in 2016...
I concede on my earlier
In 2016, what do you have? 2016 is MPP's best election in recent history. MPP gets 45%. They close the gap from 40 to 45 or 39 to 45. NDC comes down from 59 to 52. But they still win it. You notice though that MPP wins 4 of the 11. They win the 2 Techimans and they win the 2 Nkranzas, ever so slightly. So for example, let me pick them one by one now. Okay, let me do the 2020 and then I'll do the individual. Yes. So 2020, when NDC comes back, they take everything else but Nkranza North. So NDC wins everything else but Nkranza North. They establish the dominance in the settler
where they
areas back to pre-2016 level, but MPP holds Nkranza.
So which of these is the main Nkranza we know? There's south and there's north.
What I know is that Nkranza North is where the MP who was jailed,
Erica Martin. So that's the MPP now. So yes, that's
Nkranza North.
Erica Martin.
Good. So now let's take it one by one. I think the interesting ones here are the 2 Techimans. In 2012, Techiman North and South together, NDC gets 55%. MPP gets 43%. Techiman North, okay, let me take it one by one. So Techiman South, 55-43. Techiman North, 53-45. Together, it's
55.
Almost a 12% gap for the NDC. So they are strong in Techiman for 2012. But look what happens in 2016. MPP flips it. MPP gets 51%. Right? So I said a 10% gap is not that wild. MPP flips it. So just like NDC held a Sutify South, MPP takes the 2 Techimans together in 2016. Of course, in 2020, NDC comes back. And Techiman South actually gives them, so when you put the 2 together, the 2 together collectively gives them 51-47. But this is not as dominant as it was in 2012. So what NPP has done in Techiman is change a deep green to a light green. So they'll be quite happy with what
is Techiman South deep green or green?
It's both light green.
It's both light green. Okay.
It was in 2012. So if you look at 2012, Techiman South, that's when it was passively green.
Okay.
2016, it went to light blue. 2020,
went back to light green.
And this follows the national pattern.
Yeah.
2012, NDC's best result for a long time. 2016, MPP's best. 2020, in between the two. So Techiman satisfies that condition.
Yeah.
Let's look at Nkranza, where it gets more interesting. Now, Nkranza is 2012. Nkranza North is light green. Nkranza South is deep green. So that tells us that in NDC's best year, they don't do as well in the north as they did in the south.
Yeah.
And that pattern continues because in 2016, MPP wins both. And then in 2020, NDC only manages to take back south, but MPP keeps Nkranza
So the
north.
north, it doesn't look safe for
So
them.
in Nkranza North, and don't forget that in the Ahafo areas, all the north go to MPP.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the same issue here.
Yeah.
Let me put Nkranza and Techiman together and see what we can get. If I put Nkranza and Techiman together, because these were the two rivals for regional capital. 2012, NDC clean sweep for the 4. 2016, MPP clean sweep for the 4. 2020, MDC 3-1. It's an interesting block.
Yeah, it is.
It gets even interesting if I add Kintampo. So let me go to let me see what Kintampo will do for me.
The heart of Ghana.
Yes. Now let me do Kintampo for 2012 alone. So I'm doing Kintampo South and North. 2012.
Very good for NDC.
The North and the South together, 61-37. Strong NDC. 2016, put the two together.
Lighter.
55-42. Still healthy, but not as strong as it was in 2012. Now, look what's happening in 2020. 2020, they go back to 60.
And the North has been more helpful for
Yes.
the NDC.
So now let me put Kintampo, Techiman, and Nkranza together. And then let's see the pattern. 2020, NDC healthy, 53-45. And by the way, NPP's 4 strongest are here. And I just add 2 of NDC. So Nkranza, Kintampo, and Techiman together is still a 10% gap almost for NDC. So they are strong there. So don't forget, there was a massive fight at Techiman North, which led to some shootings. MPP won the parliamentary in Techiman North. They reduced the presidential dominance of NDC, but NDC still won it residually. NDC's eye is strongly there. And this is where the local government minister is from. So you see how this is building up.
Can I see the raw or the percentage for Techiman North alone?
All right.
The year that MPP took the parliamentary seat.
I think I've done that for you. Give me a minute. I'll do it for you. Techiman North. Look at that. 50% NDC, 48 MPP. Very close. So the presidential was very close.
Wow.
So it's not surprising that
there was a fight over the parliamentary.
What's the name of the minister?
That's
James Sakosa defeated the NDC. I forget the NDC guy's name. But he's somebody we interviewed at some point. So Sanda, everything else here becomes NDC. Very green. The only thing I would probably show you here now,
I want you to show Pro East and West on its own. Afro Senate has always been Chum.
So you want to see Pro East and West.
And
okay, that's a good point. So Pro good, very good point.
Because Chumesi appear.
Pro also did something which is worth mentioning. I think I'm happy you mentioned it. So let me take you to 2012. Pro East and West, 69% NDC, 28% MPP. It's not even close. 2016, where MPP comes back,
reduced by 10%.
But can you imagine? 2016 is NPP's best election, and NDC is getting 60% in Pro. MPP is getting 39. It's not even close, right? Then in 2020, they take it 61-37. Although for parliamentary, MPP gets a Pro seat
for Pro East West,
which is why the gentleman was made the deputy minister.
Yeah.
So you notice that there's a certain system of rewarding people who win seats in difficult places. And so this gentleman who was given that deputy ministerial position to even win a parliamentary seat in that area, and later when we do the next show on parliament, I'll explain that.
And the NDC has changed its parliamentary candidate for the Pro East,
which has to be so Kobranko is not going anymore.
Yes, it's no more their parliamentary candidate.
So in terms of big names, all right, I was mentioning big names. I think one of NDC's best guys is Kobranko.
That's true.
In the Pro areas.
That's true.
Very, very long term.
Now, even if you look at Senate, so I was mentioning Chumesi Apia. There used to be an MP there for NDC, Chumesi Apia.
I think it was Senate West.
Yeah, so one of the Senate constituencies.
Yeah, it was a very safe seat for NDC,
Yes.
always been.
Yes.
So if you put Sene, Atebubu, and Pru together, just to show the dominance, Sene, Atebubu, 2012, it was all 66 to 31. All right. 2016, 59-38. 2020, 61-36.
I want you to highlight only Sanja Nanja's active Amantin for me. Sanja Nanja used to be.
You want me to highlight only that? You want only Atebu Amantin?
Yes,
you want to see how
because it looks like the only constituency without a twin,
partner,
without a twin.
Yeah. So that's been NDC through and through.
Percentage
for
wise,
presidential.
how have they done from
so
2012?
2012, 62-35 favor of NDC. 2016, 53-44. So 2016, Atebubu was 10% game, which was NPP's best. 2020, 58-39. So there's something else you should know. Bono East and Bono, when you join them, is a very interesting picture. I can do that for you. You have
So that we are taking a break in 2 minutes, but I just wanted to be, so does it make
their populations are, so don't forget 12 constituencies for Bono, 11 for Bono East, 6 for Ahafo, is pretty small. So the balance of power there is the relative strength of NDC and MPP in Bono East and Bono.
I would have thought Bono was populous than.
Yes, it is more populous than Bono East.
But how come if you put it together?
All right, so let's look at this. Actually, a good point.
Just put the two regions together.
Bono East. If I put the two.
So I wanted to put Bono East and Bono together.
I'm coming. I'm looking at 2020 results. NDC gets 265, MPP gets 199. So together it's about 464,000 voters. Okay. Now if I do Bono alone, it's a bit higher. It's about 495, so about 30,000 more.
Yet when you put them together, the green dominates. That's what I don't get.
No, the green.
Does it mean the blue's victory is not that?
No, it's the physical. You see, you are making a fundamental mistake. Okay. You are using geographical size of the place to approximate to the population. That's not what it is. So you see, the Bono East area has bigger constituencies in terms of physical size.
Landmass.
But Bono has denser populated places which are smaller in land mass. So the map looks overall green.
You don't get my point. So not even the color necessarily.
What are you saying?
Percentage wise, who wins the two put together?
I can show you that here.
That will be after the break. We'll take a break. This is the Situation Room on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandabad here at Benadavle. We are bisecting Brong and Ahafo region. We've taken Ahafo and Bono East apart, dealt with it. We are left with Bono. We'll come back, we'll look at them too. Please stay.
Welcome to the most exciting and diverse talk show on television. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we bring you the best in personality, talent, entertainment, and jaw-dropping performances on the Upside Down Show.
The whole country, we have only one orchestra pit, which is the one at the National Theatre.
If I hadn't probably gone into journalism, I would be acting by now.
Our stage is a platform for the extraordinary, and we guarantee that you will be entertained from start to finish. Make a date with our charismatic and witty host, Frema Dunyame and Nanatufuo Boating, as they keep the energy high and the conversation flowing with their infectious personalities, bringing out the best in our guests and creating a dynamic atmosphere that keeps you hooked. So tune in into the Upside Down Show every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Channel 1 TV for an unforgettable experience. The Upside Down Show is proudly sponsored by Sky Water.
You're welcome back. This is the Situation Room on Channel 1 TV. We are looking at the numbers in Brong and Ahafo, as it used to be called, Bono Ahafo region. Bernard, so we've done Ahafo. We've shown how they behave. 3 areas, Tano, Esutifi, and Tano, Esutifi, and Sunafo. Now we have done Bono East. We've done Sene, we've done Pru, we've done Atiti Buamantin, we have done Techima, we've done Onkranza.
And we've done Kintampo. You have it.
We've dealt with that. Now we are going to Bono. How should I approach Bono?
Bono is a bit more interesting because it's not as simple as that. But the way I try to remember this is there's Sunyai, there's Brekum, there's Doma, then there's Wenchi, Tain, and Banda.
Okay, so it doesn't have a pattern.
I'm doing it for you. So you have the 3 Domas.
Okay.
Now, Doma Central, Doma East, and Doma West. Of course, Doma West was created in 2012. By in 2012. So Doma has 3 constituencies. Brekum has 2. Sunyai has 3. So that's 8.
Okay.
So that's one cluster. Doma is close to Côte d'Ivoire and is at the southern part of Bono. Then you have Sunyai East and West, and then you have Brekum East and West, close to each other. Good. Now, I add German North and South to Brekum because I know that German and Brekum, they are essentially similar people.
Okay.
All right. So don't forget Boachijan, German. So they and Brekum are neighbors. Then you have General Mosquitoes, Tain, which is a neighbor to Wenchi. And then there's Banda. So let me explain it. So you have, let's start from the bottom. Doma West, Doma Central. So let me empty the map and fill it again. Forgive me. So I'm filling from the south.
Okay.
So I start with Doma West, Doma Central, and Doma East as one. Then I have Sunyani West and Sunyani East.
No, it's down there.
No, forgive me.
It's down there.
Sunyani East and Sunyani West together. Then I have Brekum East and Brekum West. So 2 Brekums, 2 Sunyanis, 3 Domas.
3 Domas.
Very Bono. Then I have Tain.
In the
middle. Then I have Wenchi, the hometown of Buzia.
Closer to Bono East.
Then I have German South and German North, and I have Banda. You get it? So let's go through this again. You have Sunyani East and West. You have Brekum East and West. You have your 3 Domas, which are these. So 3 Domas, 2 Sunyanis, and 2 Brekums as your southern cluster. Then in your middle cluster, you have German South and North. You have Tain and Wenchi, and then you have Banda up north.
So the region is sandwiched
by north and south. Now, the key to this region is to say that the places that never change, Sunyani East and West don't change.
Never change.
Brekum East and West hardly change. So Doma Central and Doma East hardly change. And they are all in the center. So if those of you
so the middle is blue, the top green,
the top changes. So German North, Banda, Tain, and sometimes Wenchi can change. Doma West also can change, but everybody else remains. So is this a bit like Takrady?
Remind me so that before we finish, we isolate Wenchi and deal with it because it's strange that it is green.
I'll do Wenchi.
So Wenchi ordinarily shouldn't be green based on history, but so let's
not necessarily because don't forget that the consistency was Wenchi. The Tain came out of Wenchi. So when you put the two together, the look of it was different historically.
I'm talking about the man who is from Wenchi. That's what I
get your point. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let's take this again. Your 2 Sunyanis, your 2 Brekums, and 2 out of your 3 Domas will always vote for MPP.
This is 2012. Change to all the way to 2016. Let's see whether there will be anything.
For now, you see that the blue is in the middle, green is in the top, and 1 green at the bottom. 2016, MPP cleared everything except the green at the bottom and the green at the top. So this is Banda and Doma West. So everybody else became MPP. And the MPP in the middle became deep. You see what I'm saying now?
Okay.
So these guys don't change. It's always MPP. Okay. NDC has something here and has something at the top, and these are light. 2020, see what happens. 2020, this guy remains green. This blue still remains. NDC takes 2 of the ones up there. So the point I'm making is that even in Bono, you can say that the places up for grabs will be the ones closer to Banda. So this two, Tain, German North, sometimes Wenchi, they took the parliamentary, they lost presidential. Banda, sometimes, and then definitely Doma West.
So currently Ibrahim Ahmed,
yes,
MP for Banda,
yes,
is an orphan.
Yes, because he is
and they made him whip
because MPP won the presidential. So for him to win that parliamentary, so he and the Wenchi MP are prize assets because the Wenchi people voted for MPP, but NDC on the parliamentary map, NDC took 5 of the 12.
That is serious.
So one of the biggest stories of the 2020 election was NDC's parliamentary performance in Bono. And let's look at the presidents quickly. So Techiman, sorry, forgive me, Brekum, Sunyani together. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the MPP dominant places,
yes,
and then do a quick overview for you. So from 2012, 57-41, right? I'm putting the MPP dominant only. I'm adding Doma Central, 56 to 42%. Then I do 2016. Why is this becoming smaller? Good. 2016, 64-34. Right? So this is the opposite of Doma East. Bono East.
Bono East.
So this is MPP territory. J.H. Mensah is from Sunyani. In Krabi Fadate, the Minister for Employment. These are MPP royalty. All right? 2020.
Doma Health Minister former.
Yes. So this is MPP Heartland. 2020 is still 63 to 35. So this has to be compared to the Bono East to balance it out. Then the fight is Doma West, Banda. So, but let me do something for you. Let me take away the MPP dominant areas in Bono and just take the place NDC does well. So I take Doma West, I take Banda, I take German North and South, I take Tain. Let me just take Wenchi. These ones that NDC does well, and go back to 2012 and show you something. See, in 2012, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together, NDC wins it, 54 to 44. 2020, MPP's best year, it's 51 for Nanado, 47 for Mahama. Guess what? In 2020, when you bring this together, Mahama wins it. And this is in Bono. So the region is, even though it is at 1/3, you split it, MPP is middle, NDC
and
is
it gives you,
you see what I'm saying now?
It gives you a swing region status.
So Sandra, this is the story. You want to know how the region behaves collectively. So Bono is MPP advantage. Now if I add Bono East together, it gives you an NDC advantage. All right. But then if I add Ahafo,
go back one bit.
So let me go back.
Ahafo. So this is a point I was making to you earlier, and I wasn't using just color pattern.
Yes.
So this is
Bono and Bono East.
I'm saying that Bono is densely populated than Bono East.
Yes.
NDC does well in Bono East.
Yes.
But in terms of raw numbers, you should expect that the Bono is like NDC wins 5 regions.
But this is just 2012.
You know what I'm saying? That, so imagine NDC wins 5 regions of the north, and NPP wins just Ashanti. Should be able to neutralize it. What I don't understand is why NPP carries Bono region, and yet when you put it with Bono East, then NDC overall becomes the winner.
Because the population difference is just 30,000.
It's not okay.
And this is 2012 picture where MPP wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Of the 21.
Very well. You can go ahead and complete it.
Good. If I do 2016, MPP wins.
MPP wins. Okay, that's
so
fine.
now it turns bluer. And if I do 2020, I've not added Ahafo yet.
Okay.
It's a dead heat.
Very well.
Now let me add Ahafo finally. So this is the picture I have in 2012.
Yeah.
Now let's add Ahafo to this. So in this scenario of the 2 without Ahafo, NDC is leading. If you add Ahafo, it's NDC still leading, but a bit smaller. 2012. If you make it 2016, MPP takes it by a good chunk. And if you go to 2020, it's a much closer race, because now the green is up north, the blue is in the middle, and a couple of greens at the bottom. So this is the situation with a swing region.
I wanted you to just isolate that small Doma
Doma West.
How it's been consistently green? Can you just isolate Doma West and deal with it for the 3 election cycle for me?
Yes, Doma West's neighbor at the south, don't forget, is Western North.
Western North, okay.
And Doma West also, its demographic will tell you that NDC is a strong constituency there.
Very well. But we need to end it here.
Yes.
We'll be back again with more on the Situation Room. It's been great coming your way. We are back tomorrow on your TV screen with another exciting package. My name is Umaru Sandam. I did this with Bernard Avle. We'll be back. Thank you.